Kangaroo always ends with a question like this, and it's one of my favorites. I don't know, it's just a logic problem with a cross number, a good way to end the challenge. So the key thing is to decide what clues to start with. We've got stuff about palindromes, but no empty spaces, so that's not going to be good. The square root of the answer to this question, that's not going to help us actually get the answer. And then we've got squares and cubes and six less. So it's going to be like the ones that jump out are these ones here. So I think first of all, I'm going to find the factors of 105. So 105 is 5 and 21 and 3 and 7. So it's going to be not 2, 3 times 5 times 7. Now, the way to work out how many factors there are is you put the powers in and then you actually add 1 to the powers. So 2, 2, and 2, and multiply them together. There's going to be 8 factors to this number. I'm not going to talk about why that is here, but it's a good little thing to be aware of. So 8 factors, because we're going to get 3, 5, 7. We're going to get 1 and 105, and then we're going to get the combination of these other ones. So 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 7 is 21, and 5 times 7 is 35. So now we want it to be 4 less than a factor, so it's going to be 11, 17, or 31. Okay, we don't know which one, but at least we've got some options going on. Now I'm going to look at the cube numbers because cube numbers get big very quickly. So 400 less than a cube. So something like 6 cubed is 216. That's going to be too small straight away. 7 cubed is actually 343. You might know it, you might have to figure out by hand. 7 times 49, it's actually going to be 7 less than 7 times 50. So you can do that and then just subtract 7. This is still too small actually, so I'm just going to eliminate that. Right, 8 cubed though, that's 512. 9 cubed is 729. 10 cubed is 1000. 11 cubed is 1331. In all these cases, I can now, if I do 400 less, then it might work out. I've got 112 from the 512. I've got 329. I've got 600 and I've got 931. Right, I can reject the 600 because if it ends in a 0 here, like it's not, it says the digits are non-zero. Okay, so I can really focus on this digit here, and I know it's either going to end in a 1 or a 7 because that was my clues from 1 across, but it's going to start with a 1, 3, or a 9. So it has to, this has to be a 1 here. Okay, and actually that means it has to be 112, and we've managed to work out the answer to 2 down. Brilliant. And I can get rid of that 17. It's just going to be a 1 or a 3 here. I just don't know. Don't know yet. Right, so the next one is going to be those square numbers. 2 less than a square. Okay, so I'm going to go straight into my 2-digit numbers because that's what the 1 down is, 2 digits. So it's going to be, I'm just going to write them down now, my 2-digit squares. Okay, and also include 100 because it's 2 less, though it's going to minus 2 from each. Okay, that is 1 down. So it's either good to start with a 1 or a 3. And so actually it's got to be either 14 or 34. Now I don't know which one, but they both end in a 4. So I know that that has to be a 4. Okay, brilliant. So we'll come back to that clue there. So maybe 3 across will be useful now. One more than a palindrome. A palindrome is a number that reads backwards and forwards. So if it starts with a 4, it would have to end in a 4. And if it's one more than that, it's going to be 415. Okay, that one was quite quick now. Right, so what are we left with now? We can't do 1 across or 1 down quite yet. 5 across is what we're trying to get to, so we're going to have to look at 4 down. So 6 less than the sum of the answers to 2 of the other clues. 6 less. Well, we've got 20 something, so we've got to combine it with either 1 across or 1 down, or maybe we combine 1 across with 1 down. Well, one option was that we put a 1 here, and then we're going to get 11, 14, and 20 something, but there's no way that we can use the 2 actually, because as soon as you sort of put like a 0, a 0 there, then you're going to change the last digit when you add it to one of these. So it's got to be these two. So if I add it together to make the 4 down clue. So here I would get 25, and then 6 less than that is going to be 19. So that's not going to work actually, and it therefore must be that it's a 3. So now I've got 31 and 34, which is going to give 65. And if I do 6 less than that, hey, I get 59. That must be the answer, 59 here. So we've managed to do 1 across, 1 down, and 4 down all in one go. And it says 5 across is the square root of the answer to this question. So basically, the answer to the question is going to be 29 squared, because 29 is the square root of the answer. All right, and we've got to work that one out. So one way of doing this is to do 13 minus 1 times 13 minus 1, because that is much easier to calculate. It's going to be 900 minus 60 plus 1 is 941. You might know that off by heart, or you might calculate it using multiplication. Absolutely fine. I just did it this way. It's quite effective. And so that is our answer to this question, 941. Great question.